I am what I am. That's the sentence I hear from leaders who have problems with their team. Today, I explain why this is the career killer number one. Yes, 80% of all leaders say they are authentic, but when I ask their people, only 40% of the team agrees. The reason? One single toxic sentence. I am what I am. And we hear this in our private life often enough too, mostly from people who don't want to develop further, who might be completely overwhelmed by what's happening in the world, who can't deal with social media, who are afraid of artificial intelligence. And then they say, leave me alone with that, I'm not the type for this. And choleric people, people who can't control themselves, who always shrug their shoulders making the same mistakes, and every other kind of addicts who say, I just yell around, I'm just temperamental, I just have a strong character, I'm just not always fluffy. What does that mean? Right. I don't want to have to change. I just have my best qualities too. They say, you have to accept me as I am, even if I hurt you. Or they say, personal development is not my thing. Or, I'm just stubborn. That runs through our family. The truth behind it, that's convenience, packaged as authenticity. Real resistance to growth. I've put together a guide on authenticity for you. The link is in the video description or in the comments. The short version, authenticity, that's not how you present yourself. That's what you are at your core, your values. And your core values, they stay the same in every situation if you are an authentic person. Things like honesty, fairness, compassion, these are the core values. That's unchangeable. What is changeable is your behavior, like having better communication outwardly or also inwardly. Let's call that self-reflection. It's like an onion. The outer layers are habits, how I react to external influences, and my communication style. These outer layers are changeable, adaptable to situations. And in the inner core, there are your basic values, your deep convictions. That remains authentically constant. Let's go for an example. Honesty is your core value. And before maybe you were brutally honest without regards of feelings. So you would say to another person, you look bad today in the face. And when you developed, you can be honest and empathetic. You can say, are you okay? You seem a bit tired. Before you said everything unfiltered, and developed, you consider timing and context. And, for example, you don't criticize in front of an audience. Before, your honesty was an excuse for tactlessness. Now, you package truth constructively. So, another example, fairness as a core value. Before, you said, I will treat everyone equal. This is fair treatment. Developed is that justice also means considering different needs. Before, you were acting rigidly according to rules. And developed, you include contexts and circumstances in decisions. Or let's speak about compassion as a core value. Before, you were emotionally overwhelmed through too much pity for others. Now you show empathy with healthy boundaries. Before, you showed pity but you couldn't help. Now you transform compassion into constructive support. An excellent example is discipline. Before, you had so much rigid self-control that others were intimidated. And now you see discipline as an example, without preaching. Before, you disguised your perfectionism as discipline. And now you developed healthy habits instead of compulsive control. Before, you were judging others for lack of discipline, and now you have understanding for different work styles. You get the point. Last example, reliability. Before you said yes to everything to seem reliable, and now you make realistic commitments and keep them. This is the way you can develop and maintain your core values. But if you only say, I am what I am, then it stops all growth. It makes you a victim of your habits. It prevents better relationships and career opportunities. And for others, it forces them to endure your bad habits, shows lack of respect for their needs. You signal them, I'm more important than our coexistence. And the business impact would be that the team develops further and you stay behind. But leaders must be able to adapt. The market changes. Who stands still loses. So please, instead of saying to yourself, I am what I am, say to yourself, that's obviously currently my pattern, but I'm working on it. You can say to yourself, my core values stay the same, but I'm learning, I develop further without bending myself out of shape. Know your triggers and patterns. Take responsibility for your impact. That's how you grow. You stay true to yourself and you develop further. Being authentic doesn't mean to be cast in concrete. It means growing from your true core. If you want to know how to do this concretely, you'll find it step by step in my free guide. The link is in the video description or in the first comment. Are you ready for that?